I'm going to show you today how to make a freesia, the flower part of it, just so that it's a quick version. And you start with attaching 3 little stamens to a 26 or 28 gauge wire. Just tape them on at the end. They're just the little seed head stamens. And also I'm going to just put a little bit of the colour on that I'm using in the flower. So this is a little bit of purple, just dusting it on with dusting brush. You also need either a 33 or a 30 gauge wire, and you need to measure the length of the cutter. Now I'm going to use the Frankly Sweet shoe cutter and measure the whole length of it. Put a small ball of paste at the end, twiddle the paste up the wire, and then just put that to one side under a plastic file or a floppy mat. So you need to roll out flour paste, slow drying flour paste, very, very thin, and leave it just for a few minutes on one side so that it's dry on that side. Turn it over and cut out your petals. I'm only going to cut out a pair for now, but you need to cut out 6 for the flower. So you can turn it over and just roll over the edges with your finger. That means that you get a nice clean edge. And then you get your wire covered in paste, press it on so that it really squashes in, and then press that into a poppy petal veiner or something similar that's got very simple veins on it. I'm then going to colour it. So the thing to do is cut out all 6 of them and pop them under plastic so that they're all staying soft while you make each one. I'm going to colour each one with powder colour. The base is going to be a nice warm yellow on both sides. And I'm using purple for this one. So the top end I'm brushing very firmly so that I get a nice deep shade. And there you've got your coloured petal. Now if you colour all of them and put them all under the plastic, you can take them out one at a time and thin the edges and widen them. So I'm using a petal veining tool, which is the one with all the bark effect on, and just roll over the edge. And again, you can just do that and finish each one and put it under the plastic. So I'm now going to stick the petals onto my stem with the stamens on it, attach 1/4 width tape onto the stem, and then tape on the first petal and just come down a short way and break it off again. Then use a little bit of water to dampen the petal and wrap the very base of it around the base of the petals. Don't worry if it happens to break up a little bit, because that bit's going to be covered by all the other petals. You can then shape the petal, just curve it back slightly and curve the petals forward. Then attach the tape again so just wind it round. Attach the next petal just slightly round from the first one, and again just tape down just a short way. Bring it round so it's a roughly third of the way round from the previous petal. Dampen it again and wrap that around the previous one, so you get a nice narrow neck for the flower. And again just shape it and then tape the next one on as well. Attach the tape and attach the third one on so that it sits in the space in between. Don't worry if it moves, because you can move it back again in a minute. So just bend that away a little bit, dampen it just with water, and again just wrap that so that it sticks nicely to the previous two petals, and then again just bend it back and curve it forward. So roll over the edges of each of the other petals and attach the tape back onto your flower, just around where the tape is at the bottom. Don't go up over the petal, and attach your three other petals. Now this time you can attach them all on at the same time. So just go round with the tape, come back down the stem, and then go back and position them in the spaces in between the previous petals. So tape them all around the centre and then dampen them one at a time with the water and attach it so that it overlaps the space in between. And just press it in gently, curve the petal back, and again just curve it forward. And again just bring them all together. And then look at the whole flower and decide how much you want it open. So for instance, if you want it further up the stem towards the buds, have it a bit more closed, and if you want it nearer the stem, then you can open it slightly more, so that you can have a variation of them on each stem. You can then cut out little green pieces of paste using the leaf cutter. This is the small version, and if you cut it out using a pale green and then dust the ends using a darker green towards the tip, and you want two of those. You want two of those for each flower. Turn it over. You need these cut really, really fine so that they don't look thick on the plant. If you mark down the centre so that it has a fold down the middle, and just fold it slightly. And dampen it down on the inside and stick one on and then stick the other one slightly higher. And then just finish with a bit of darker green on the brush and blend in so that the tape actually becomes the same colour as the little calyx that you've put on there. Then you can use slightly wider tape, and here I've already attached some little buds that I've made and a slightly smaller version using the smaller shoe cutter without the stamens in the middle, and a slightly closed version of the flower. And then you can add in this one. Just tape it down. And I tape these in when they're still soft so that you can still move them around without them breaking. And then you can have one that's slightly more open, and that comes down the stem a little bit further. And then you've got this beautiful stem of freesias